Let's go ahead and get this party started. All right. So first things first, let's go ahead and get your credit questions answered. I know you guys got some credit goals that you guys are looking to accomplish, whether it's this year or you want to get some things in place for next year. I most definitely want to help you guys get in position to accomplish your credit and financial goals. Okay. I know that a lot of people have been, I get, we get DMs, we get messengers, we get emails, we get everything. But I always have to be the one to remind the team. Typically we answer questions for our YouTube members, but we're going to start doing something a little bit different. Don't worry, YouTube members, you guys not losing anything. Uh, and by the way, YouTube members will get priority, of course, tonight. But we're going to give everyone a little bit of a taste of what that is being all about. Okay, guys. So, but yes. So first off, only keeping an eye on the chat, and we got the team that's going to be helping me out as well too. So I'm going to do my best to get to keep up with everyone's questions. So for those who don't know, my name is Calvin Russell. I am a certified FICO professional, and I've been helping people with their credit for years. Since 2012, actually. And we turned this into a legit business in 2015. But before that time, we've been helping people looking at their credit scores and such, and just helping them get to where they need to be in life, man. So now, of course, I will answer my questions based on what the question is. But if it gets really specific, where I may have to ask follow up questions. So make sure you guys stay tuned and I'll do my best to keep up with it. Okay. What's going on, Chad Money Minutes? Listen, y'all better been, listen, Chad's been moving along here. Okay. He's been on different channels. Okay. Y'all better take y'all time and go to his channel as well too on YouTube. He's been dropping knowledge about credit cards for quite some time. So shout out to Chad's Money Minutes as he's been teaching everybody how to beat the Chase 524 rule. So shout out to you, Chad. We got to have you back on the channel soon, brother. So we'll most definitely have you soon. All right. So let's go ahead and put the channel. Let's go ahead and get your questions answered, guys. We got Instagram going. We got YouTube going. So go ahead and put your questions inside of the chat. And there is no question that's too difficult. I've seen everything. And so I'll just talk about a little bit about different scenarios, and you guys just jump in when you're ready. But of course, just a little bit about my background because I'm always just doing videos, right? But for those who don't know, I sold cars at a dealership for 6 years. I was in sales for 5 out of those 6 years, and I sold, of course, I sold cars. I sold 550 cars in less than 4 years. So not only was I good at sales, but really, I was helping people, right? I was showing people exactly what they needed to do, in order to accomplish their credit goals. Okay. And not everyone that came into the dealership qualified for a car. So those were the early first game plans, by the way. So those early game plans, we were looking at their credit report, and I'm sorry, I was looking at their credit report and I was telling people what they needed to do in order to buy a car. At the dealership I was working at, some of the management team or some of the people that I work with, they were telling me I was spending too much time with people. I was giving too much information. I was doing too much for clients. And that took me from selling 8 cars a month to I was selling 20 cars a month, 15 cars a month, 18 cars a month. My best month was like 27 cars in 1 month. And that was simply because I was just helping people, right? And I started putting those videos. So those shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me. And go ahead and put it where you guys are watching this from. So wherever you guys are watching this from, put that inside the chat. If you guys don't have any questions per se, just go ahead and at least put where you guys are watching this live stream from. Travis Benjamin, what's going on, brother? And so I'm gonna go ahead. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the chat overlay as well, so you guys can actually see what comes through. I'm sorry, I'll post that. That way it'd be a little bit easier for you guys. And so I'll put in here too, answering all credit questions inside the chat. Okay. So Instagram, you guys can't see this, but of course, put it inside the chat, Instagram, and I'll keep you guys posted in here as well, too. So we do got Jersey City's in the building. All right. So go ahead and put inside the comments, Instagram. I know y'all got some questions, man. Oh, look at that. New Jersey's in the house too. What's going on, Shanique? I know you got I think Shanique, I don't know if that's the same Shanique, but I know we just sent out a game plan for Shanique. So Shanique, I don't know if that was yours, but I know you got one coming up. So what's going on, Daniel? So let me go ahead. There we go. There we go. There we go. I appreciate you guys showing up, man. So there we go. We got Travis Benjamin from Jersey City in the house. We got Shanique from New Jersey in the house. Jersey's big out here, man. I'm about to listen. We're going to start doing a tour around here. Okay. Shanique said, yeah, that's me. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'll be looking at your report here very, very soon. Okay. So you will get that game plan directly from me. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything tonight. I promise you, I'm not trying to sell you guys anything, but I know you're probably wondering what me and Shanique are talking about. So if you guys want a custom game plan, I will put that link inside of the chat. If you guys are interested, you don't have to if you don't want to, okay? You most definitely don't have to if you don't want to. What's going on, Lolita? Lolita said, listen, let's get to it, okay? Real quick, Daniel Johnson in Jacksonville. What's going on, Daniel? Oriole Hawkins, man, he's been rocking with us for a long time, straight from Florida. What's going on, man? All right, Shanique, let's go ahead and show him how we do it here. Yes, Shanique, you know I got you. All right, so Lolita said, let's get to business. Okay. Straight from Michigan. All right. So let's get to it. I got it. So Shanique says, okay, let me move this phone Instagram. I want to make sure we don't miss anybody. So let me go ahead and get that going. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And Instagram, let me know if you guys are tired of seeing my face. I'll turn the camera around too. Okay, so Lonita says, I got a letter from a bankruptcy court stating that they don't report to credit bureaus. This is the same letter that credit repair agencies use to get bankruptcies removed from Consumer Reports. So here's the deal, Lolita. Bankruptcies are going to be part of public records. Okay. They're not just a part of public records, but there's also other companies. A lot of people only think that it's LexisNexis. Okay. There are a lot of public record database companies that are out there that are being as third parties, as fourth parties, as fifth parties to confirm. There's also mortgage companies and banks. They use a company called Fraud Guard. You won't hear a lot of people on YouTube talking about that simply because they don't know about Fraud Guard, right? But either way, all of these companies verify that the bankruptcy is real. Okay. So regardless of what you guys get in the mail, you're going to always see these types of things happening. Okay. Unfortunately. Okay. And that's just going to be a part of the deal. Okay. So you won't always see that. But the short version is you got a letter from the bankruptcy court. They don't report to all credit bureaus. Bankruptcies are going to report to the credit bureaus, whether you guys like it or not, just simply because it's a public record. Okay. This isn't a civil judgment. They stopped those long time ago. This isn't, those civil judgments when people take you to court. So they stopped that a long time ago. And then, of course, now they put a clock on medical collections. But bankruptcies most definitely will be on your credit report if it hasn't shown up already, unless it's not an authentic bankruptcy. If you file bankruptcy, it will be showing up on your credit report unless they're making you think that it's a bankruptcy and it's not. But you would know for a fact that it was a bankruptcy. But that letter that you got from the bankruptcy court in general, you can use that to dispute the accuracy of the bankruptcy. That's what people are disputing, guys. The disputing means that you're disputing the on the credit bureaus, okay? Whether it's a bankruptcy or any other item. So that item itself most definitely will be showing up as well too. So make sure you keep an eye on that. So Lolita, let me know if that answers your questions. But yes, that is not necessarily the same letter that credit repair companies use, but they could just use, you don't even have to use that letter. You can actually just use the fact that it's on your credit report. You don't always have to have documentation, but documentation does help with the dispute process, but you can use that document with the dispute process. Okay. Let me know if that answers your question. If it doesn't, go ahead and just let me know inside of that as well. Okay. Donnie. Oh, you know what? Let me go to Instagram. Don't want to miss you guys. Instagram. So best balanced transfer cards. As a matter of fact, I'll be dropping a video tomorrow on the top 3. I used to do like the top 10, but I noticed y'all don't be waiting until the top 10. Y'all look at like the top 3 or 4 and y'all dip. So I've reduced that down to the top 3. So I'll be dropping the top 3, best balanced transfer cards. But since you guys are on here, I'll go ahead and get that going right away. So matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'm about to pull that list up. Okay. And so top 3 balance transfer credit cards. Okay. I got it right here. So number 1 is going to be the Discover It balance transfer credit card. Okay. This one gives you 0% for 18 months. Okay, 0% for 18 months. And so you'll be able to do that. And now nothing else is special with this particular credit card. So that's going to be number 1 on that one. The reason why that's now number 1 is because Discover usually goes 15 months. And so this was going 18 months. And Discover's a little bit easier of a card to get. Okay. Number two is going to be Wells Fargo. Okay. Now, Wells Fargo is going to be 0% for 15 months. Okay. So for 15 months. And so that one is going to be from account opening and is qualifying balance transfers as well. Okay. So Wells Fargo Active Cash Card, that one's been a little bit easier to get as well. If you guys are not familiar with that. And then, of course, you're going to also get Citibank. So usually any Citibank is usually going to be the one that sends you guys the most offers for balance transfers. That's always been the big push for Citibank is balance transfers. This one gives you 0% for 15 months. So a lot of credit card companies are starting to scale back a little bit on how long the 0% is. Okay, so keep an eye on that. So you're going to have Discover It. Okay, 0% for 18 months. Wells Fargo, 0% for 15 months. And Citibank is going to be for 15 months as well. If you guys, I should have a link either in this video or on any of my other videos if you guys want to see the full list of all credit cards, not just balance transfers. Okay, so Instagram, I hope you got that information as well. All right. So Lolita says, I'm praying it works. Oh, yeah, don't worry. Keep going to keep us posted too. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go into Donnie. Sorry about that, Donnie. All right. So now, what is your take on canceling old cards that have annual fees? Looking to get rid of some old credit cards from 2018. Very good question. So I would only get rid of credit cards if your score can handle it. Okay. So if you guys do not plan on, if you don't plan on doing anything with your credit like right away, I would strongly recommend that if you like say for example you're looking to get like a car, right? If you're going to get a car, anytime you're looking to get it like to do something with your credit, like a car, a house, you're trying to get a certain credit card, I don't recommend doing a lot with your credit because that is what we call a window. And you want to most definitely get qualified for whatever you need to get qualified first during that window while your credit score is at its highest point. And then once you know you've done that, then you could go ahead and do some other stuff. Okay. So in this case, if you're in the 700s, then I say go ahead and do it because what we don't want to do is keeping credit cards just to keep them. Okay. So it all depends on how long you're going to be, how long you're going to have your credit cards. Okay. So I'm sorry. And then also too, Donnie, let me know, and I'll keep an eye on the chat too, Donnie. Let me know how many credit cards do you have now? Or better yet, I'll just go and just put this out there. If you have more than 3 credit cards, then I will go ahead and you can go ahead and get rid of one. Okay. But if you're trying to get rid of I would say for every 3 to 4 credit cards, it's okay to get rid of one. Okay. But keep in mind, if you guys have a goal to get to 850, then you do need to have an average accounts of 5 to 7 open accounts of an average age of 8 to 11 years. Okay. So keep that in mind. 8 to 11 years, 5 to 7 accounts. And those need to be a mix of accounts. They can't just be all credit cards. So your credit score has to be high enough in the 700s. Don't do it in the 6s. If you close out a credit card in the 6s, your score is not going to drop dramatically. You're still going to get that history, that good payment history, but every single month, you're going to get one less positive account that's going to report to your credit report. Because think about it. You had that credit card that was open. So let's say, for example, you got 6 total accounts. You got a car loan, you got a credit card, you got some credit cards, you got a mix of a different stuff. But in total, you have 6 credit accounts. Okay. Of those 6 credit accounts, and you close one of those accounts. Now you have 5 accounts reporting to your credit report. So again, that additional on-time payment that you would normally get is now going to affect the speed at which your credit score increases. Does that make sense, guys? So the short version is the more positive activity you have reporting each month is going to be better. So what you want to do then, Donnie, if you don't have to close it, don't close it. If you could put a bill on that credit card and just have it on auto pay, but if it's costing you money, like an annual fee and all that jazz, I would consider closing that credit card out. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's swing on over to Instagram. D Pitts, thank you so much. I have to Discover It now. Can you have more than one card with Discover? Absolutely. You guys can have more than one card with any bank that you guys want to. Banks do not have limits on how many cards you guys can get with them. Some of them even will let you get the same card. Okay. I know, again, you guys have seen me interview Dante Sledge, which, of course, Dante, he'll be back on the channel here soon. We trying to get the schedule right. So shout out to Dante trying to work out the schedule with me. But either way, he has like 5 or 6 different Amex Platinums, right? So again, you can have a lot of different credit cards with a lot of different credit card companies as well. Instagram says, how do I get a car with bad credit? So here's the deal. Be prepared to put down a down payment. That's number one. Be prepared to put down a down payment. Nothing crazy, like 1,000, maybe 1,500. Guys, you guys got to understand, the lower your credit score is, the least that the bank trusts you. Okay, you won't be able to get these you won't be able to get relationships with these bigger banks. You got to start off with a smaller bank. That's going to be higher interest, lower term, things of that sort. You're not going to like it. But again, you're not supposed to like it, right? But keep in mind, just because you have that loan, you're not stuck in that loan. Just because you sign your name to a 6-year, 5-year, 4-year, 3-year loan does not mean that you have to keep it for that entire term. Okay. You only have to keep it long enough to then qualify for a refinance or trade that car in. Going to be difficult car in shorter than in less than 18 months. You can trade it in at any time, but you're gonna be upside down. That's negative equity, which means the car is gonna be worth less than what you owe. So that means you either got to pay extra on the car note, okay, or you just gonna have to qualify for a refinance. And if you can't refinance it, get a personal loan and pay off that car. Sometimes personal loans have better interest rates. I know rates are not the best right now, guys, but just because rates are not the best right now doesn't necessarily mean that rates are not better than what you're getting. There are some people that have 25% auto loan rates and they still qualify for an auto loan refinance at 15%. Now, 15% is not ideal, but 15% is better than 24%, guys. So again, don't get caught up in this whole interest rates are super high. Yeah, they're higher than what they normally are, but 15%, if that's what you qualify for and you're refinancing from 15 to 24, don't be stupid. Okay. Take that deal. Okay. Because at the end of the day, it's all about saving money. And when the rates go down again, you'll qualify for 10%, 8%, right? So again, keep that stuff in mind. One of my clients, they just had a car note for $1,600. Of course, they have a Range Rover, and they was able to refinance that from $1,600 down to $900 in today's interest rates, guys. So again, it's about how much money are you saving? How much money are you keeping? Okay, so keep that in mind as you guys are going through this as well, too, guys. Okay. All right, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, perfect. D Pitt says 100. Of course, sir. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. All right, so Shanique says, I need more information about sending out dispute letters, like when. I went through all the videos and I was wondering when to send them out. I know they're a number, but I need more clarity. So, Shanique, yeah. So you always want to start off with the first one. This should be round one, and round one's gonna be validation, okay? And that's what it's called, validation. That's essentially saying, hey, I need you to confirm that what is on my credit report is accurate. I need you to tell me. I need you, essentially credit bureau, to confirm that this account is even accurate, right? And that itself is sometimes going to be all you need. Just so we're clear, guys, these companies, the credit bureau's job is to just confirm what's going on, from the actual collection company, from the actual creditor themselves. And so they're going to say, hey, this is that information. All of these companies have departments dedicated. Those are the company. Those are the departments. Those are the same departments that reported the information to the credit bureaus. Okay, so when the credit bureaus then say, "Hey, validate this information," because I want to make something clear. When a company, first off, you guys got to know how things even become negative items. Okay, especially a collection, for an example. A collection, when a collection company has to pay, they have to pay every time that they report something to each credit bureau. It's not for free. They have to pay these companies to do this, okay? And so when they do that, the credit bureaus do not say, "Hey, Is this accurate? They leave that up to the consumer, which is us. So it's us versus them. So now, just because they report it doesn't mean that it's 100% accurate. That's where the dispute process comes into play. Now, once you dispute that, that credit bureau then reaches out to that company and says, hey, they said this is inaccurate. We need you to validate us. Show us proof. Show us something that you have, company, collection company, creditor, whatever, that validates that this is accurate. So that's going to be number one. And then number two, and then it's going to go so on and so forth. Okay. And at that point, you're just essentially making sure that you are able to show that information is inaccurate. Now, keep in mind, I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube floating around saying, listen, it don't matter what you got on your credit report. You can just get it off. Let me tell you guys something. Even that, if that is the case and you guys get this stuff off, let me tell you what really gets these things removed. You guys ready for this? What really gets these things removed is a company that cannot show that whatever you disputed is accurate on their end. If you say that the amount is this and it should be this, or this amount is inaccurate, and they can't show proof that that amount is what they say it is, then the credit bureaus are simply going to remove it. There's nothing special about it. Now, the flip side is true too. If they can show proof that the information is accurate, it's going to stay on the credit report. Now, here's another thing too. The question is, well, Calvin, I've seen accurate information get disputed. I went to this one person and they got it removed. There are, again, let me ask you this. Just like people are lazy at your job, there are people that are lazy at the credit bureaus too, right? They say, oh, man, I'm not going to do this. Let me just go ahead and just click this button. And now you know that now this person now has it removed off of their credit report. It's not magic. The reason why it's not magic is because that's why you guys have seen some things get removed and some things not get removed. Some things get removed from one bureau and then some things not get removed from all bureaus. It doesn't matter what gets removed from your credit bureau. It is still in the database. If you close an account, if you close a credit card with, let's say, Capital One, and you were able to get that off of your credit report, it is still in Capital One's database. So if Capital One, if they resend that information, this is why we get emails all the time. They say, hey guys, you helped me with my credit in the past. You got this item removed. It came back. Yeah, it came. And they're not upset with us, but they're more so saying, hey, it came. Why did it come back? It came back because it was accurate. It was accurate. Accurate information that you dispute can come back. And not that it will come back. It's up to the company to redo that. Guys, that's the only leverage they have. They know that you're trying to get these things disputed. Think about it. People come out with videos every day, how to get charge off removed, how to get increase removed, how to get, again, these companies aren't stupid. But here's what they do know is that it's only a handful of banks. It's only a hand. Now, there's a lot of credit builders and stuff like that. It's only a handful of banks, guys. Okay. It's only a handful of banks. And so it's only a matter of time before you need Capital One again. It's only a matter of time before you need Chase again. It's only a matter of time before you need Wells Fargo again, Bank of America. It's the same banks. So it may not be on your credit report, but it will be on that database. Right. So keep that in mind. All right. So either way, that's when you want to send out dispute letters. Start off with validation, and then you want to go ahead and go from there. And then, of course, that's round one. And then round two is good. Now, what makes the dispute a little bit better is when you guys have documentation. OK, now, when we send letters, that just keeps the dispute process going. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen people do it like that's how we used to do it. If we had documentation, it was better. But if we didn't have documentation and we would do 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 3 rounds, and we was able to get that item removed from their credit report, some things we were able to get removed and some things we were not able to get removed. If you guys work with us in the past, our goal was to focus on building the score, right? And if things came off along the way, then great. But if they didn't, we focused on building the score itself. Saying that to say that, again, no one can keep things from coming from not showing back up on your credit report. So just keep that in mind. All right. So let's go into the next one. Daniel Johnson. My credit score dropped, and listen, IG, if you guys got questions, let me know. Put it inside the chat, okay? My credit score dropped out of nowhere, 25 points without any negative information reporting on any of the three credit bureaus, and I checked all three thoroughly. Any idea why? Daniel, if you have any accounts that have closed in the past, I want you guys to pay attention to this because this is not something that Daniel is just dealing with. This is going to come with age. Okay. So guys, if you're between it now, I won't even go too deep into the age part, but the short version is as we get older, so do accounts on our credit reports. So things that are no longer on our credit reports, things that fall off of our credit reports aren't just negative. Things are positive. Think about that. Think about your first auto loan. I don't know when you got that, but when that falls off, that's going to make your score drop. That first credit card, that furniture card you only got furniture. You paid the bill, you paid it on time. You paid on it for 3 years. When it falls off of your credit report, your score will drop. Why does it drop? Now, this is the most common reason why is positive history falls off of your credit report. Okay? You need to have recent positive activity. What's recent? Every month. Every single month. You should have at least 3 to 5 credit cards in rotation, even if you're not trying to go for 850. Everybody's not trying to get to 850s. People are just trying to keep a good, steady score. This is what happens to a lot of people when they get into semi-retirement or when they're retired, when they get into their 70s, 60s, even sometimes in their 50s, and they don't have these credit reports a certain amount of time, right? And then they say, "Oh man, what happened to my score?" Well, you're not building credit anymore. Guys, credit is not just being built. Credit also needs to be maintained, right? Banks need to see that you're still paying people on time. Banks are relationships. Think about relationships as dating. Think about relationships as marriage, right? When you don't have any more accounts on your credit report, that means you're not paying anybody. That means you're not dating anybody, and then all of a sudden you want to start dating again. It's like, when was the last time you was in a relationship? That's how you guys gotta think about this stuff, man. So Daniel, here, keep me posted on that. Don't worry, I'll swing back around. I'm trying my best not to miss anything tonight. Okay. Instagram, where y'all at, man? Y'all just listening mode. So credit is a living thing. That's right, Nappy. That's right. Okay, cool. Let's go. Another question: can you dispute student loans? You most definitely can, Shanique. You most definitely can dispute student loans. But here's the deal: you guys got to have the right understanding for disputing student loans. So disputing student loans, whether it comes off of your credit or not, credit reports are really just adult report cards. Okay, they're more so just a paper history, but it's not really it's not the credit report that really matters. It's not the report that matters, right? It's really what the relationship that you have with these companies. It's what's in their database. What's the history you have with them? Where am I going with this? When you dispute that student loan, first off, student loans are federally backed. They're government owned. So the government knows that you have student loans. It's a matter of time before it shows back up, right? These student loans have been selling to companies back and forth. For those of you who remember student loans from the 90s or early 2000s, remember it used to say U.S. Department of Education. But for those of you who have student loans in the last 10 years or 15 years, it's been Navient, Nailnet, right? But don't forget, in the last 5 years, Nailnet sold all their student loans to someone else. So it's going to keep on circulating. So even if you get it removed, someone else is going to buy it out because student loans are starting to outlive the person. Student loans are going on for listen, they know y'all not going to pay them. So they're going to keep on selling this stuff every 5 to 10 years. So even if you do get it removed, it's going to get re-reported back on your credit report because now there's a new owner in town. There's a new owner. And so again, now here's the question that you got to ask yourself, Shanique, is that does my student loan balance, does that matter? Okay. Sorry, we got the heat on crazy up in here, baby. But yeah, that's the thing is that you got to ask yourself how much, why do we want to dispute the student loans? Not in a bad way. Like, why do we want to dispute them? Are we tired of just looking at them? But you got to understand something. Student loans do not affect your credit score unless you're late. Unless they're showing late payments. Not showing late payments, if they're not showing in default, if these things are not happening, guys, then you won't have to worry about this at all. But if you're in good standing, if they're in deferment, if they're being consolidated, it's not affecting your score at all. It don't matter if you got $2 million in student loans or if you got $20 in student loans. It does not matter. Only if it's late. Okay. All right. But yes, student loans can be disputed. I'm gonna start answering these questions a little bit faster. But for those who've been rocking with me since 2015, listen, these 1,200 videos ain't come out of nowhere. I talk all day. So let's keep going. All right. Next, Lolita says, is it accurate for those accounts that are discharged in your bankruptcy to still be itemized on your credit report, even with the bankruptcy in its own section? Very good question. Yes, it's normal. It's natural for items that were included in your bankruptcy. It's going to even have the status included in the bankruptcy. But don't worry, Lolita. It doesn't matter. Why does that not matter? Because when you go get an auto loan, they do look to see what your previous auto loan history was. But if they saw that it was a part of the bankruptcy, then they say, okay, we don't too much care that it was in the bankruptcy. We more so care about what have you done after the bankruptcy. So a bankruptcy is kind of like, I won't say cheating in the relationship, but you were just not the best in the relationship, right? So whoever you borrowed the money from, they did their part. And then you just didn't do your part. Let's just say that in the relationship, you just didn't do your part. Whatever that was, they always got on you for taking out the trash. You never took out the trash. They say, you know what? I'm done with you, right? That's what a bankruptcy does. And they say, hey, this was included in the bankruptcy. So they don't care about the fact that that relationship didn't go well. They care about what did you do after that relationship. Right. So the credit card company, have you built another relationship with another credit card company after that time frame? If the auto loan was inside the bankruptcy, what other auto loans have you done since that time frame? If you had a house in the bankruptcy, what other mortgages did you have outside of it? Which, by the way, try your best not to put the house in the bankruptcy, guys. That's a whole nother situation, but whole nother video. And I did a video on a bankruptcy. Y'all ain't watch it, so y'all ain't ready for bankruptcy talk right now, and that's fine. Okay, so but either way, again, that's what they really care about. So again, things that show statuses, itemized things that show up on your bank that show bankruptcy. Banks don't really care about that. They care about what have you done recently? What'd you do last month? What'd you do in the last 90 days? What'd you do in the last 6 months? Okay. I had a repossession years ago. I had charge off years ago, right? But again, those same banks, they will do business with you. I'm telling you they will. Because again, you're not the only one that filed bankruptcy, Lolita. You're not the only one that had these issues. They just want to see you rebuild. They want to see you reestablish. The number one problem that people have with bankruptcies is that they don't reestablish, if at all. They either don't reestablish properly or they don't reestablish at all. Okay, let's move on. All right, so Instagram says I got $2,000. Oh, let me go ahead and take. Hold on, Donnie. I'm gonna swing back around. What about a $2,000 medical bill on your credit report? Does it hurt your credit score? Yes and no. So medical bills now have a new rule. Okay, and obviously, if it's on your credit report now, so let's go ahead and talk about this. If it's a new medical bill, it now has to be anywhere between 6 to 12 months before it shows up on your credit report. Okay, they do that to give you time to figure out whether the bill is legit, meaning should it have been paid by insurance, or whether the medical bill was supposed to be paid by the insurance company or not. That's up to you to make sure that information is accurate. Okay. That's why credit bureaus used to just take the information, put it on the credit report and just say, hey, we're done. But now there's a new rule that they put in place. Okay. And now they have to wait. Okay. And so in short, they now give you 6 to 12 months to figure out whether the bill is legitimate, and whether it's legitimate or not, it will show up on your credit report, assuming you don't pay that. Now, again, they give you 6 to 12 months, guys. They're giving you 6 to 12 months to get this stuff taken care of. Okay. So most definitely stay on top of your medical bills, but the amount itself does not matter. The only time that the amount matters is when you're looking to go into home ownership. Not FHA loans, but just lenders when you're looking to get a home loan in general, any collection amounts or anything that's negative debt over $2,000, they have to count a certain percentage against you, and that's going to be determined upon your debt to income, which is also known as your DTI. The short version is try to keep stuff less than $2,000 on your credit reports if you have to do that. That doesn't mean that you're going to get denied. I want to be clear. I've gotten people approved for home ownership with evictions on their credit report. I've gotten people approved with child support, evictions, medical bills, you name it, repossessions. It doesn't matter. Okay. But again, it will count against you, but you have to make a certain amount of money. Okay. You don't have to be at 100,000. You could be at 40,000, 50,000. But again, just try your best, guys, to try to work this stuff out. Or again, you can always try to dispute certain things. But let me tell you something. There are things that are not on your credit report, whether you disputed them or whatever, and they are still showing up in other databases. They don't just rely on credit reports. This isn't the 90s and early 2000s anymore. They know that you know how to get stuff removed, which is why the credit report is really that's just a start, right? But they look at other platforms that are out there that we don't even have access to. Just keep this stuff in mind. See, a lot of these people that talk about this stuff on YouTube, they don't know mortgages. They don't know that if things go deeper down the rabbit hole, that things are bigger than just credit cards and auto loans. Anybody can get this kind of stuff, right? But when you start dealing with mortgages, that's a 30-year commitment with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they got to look a little bit deeper, okay? But I wouldn't worry too much about that, okay? Next. All right. Donnie says, remember me, you walked me through a 2018 when my score was like 540. Now I have 23 credit cards. Congratulations, sir, with over 100K in available credit. People need to know that you know your ish. I appreciate that, Donnie, man. I appreciate that. Listen, man, I'm sure you probably left us a review on Google. Listen. For those who don't know, we've been helping people for a long time, man. A very long time. So shout out to you, Donnie, man. I greatly appreciate you. It's stories like that that keep this whole thing going. And listen, we still young out here, man. So we still got a lot to accomplish for sure. So Donnie, I greatly appreciate you, brother. All right. So now, Anitra, what you got? All right. So how long after you file bankruptcy can you apply for a loan and get approved for it? Very good question. So I would say if you're a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, so here's what you got to realize is that Chapter 7 bankruptcies, you do have to. Hold on one second, guys. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm not missing anything else. If you are a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you guys got to understand that when you're going with a Chapter 7, hold on. I'm repeating myself. My bad. All right. So when you're looking at a Chapter 7, you most definitely want to make sure that everything that you do after the Chapter 7 is discharged, that you're rebuilding. Okay. Same thing with a 13. But a 13, you can actually start working on your credit while you're in a 13. Okay. Now, you can't go out and go get you can get a house 12 months after a 13. Just so we're clear, not 12 months after it's discharged, after 12 on-time payments. Excuse me. After 12 on-time payments, you can start going to home ownership. Why am I bringing this up? Because with a personal loan, you may not be able to do it with a Chapter 13 because that needs to get approved. Because remember, if you're in a Chapter 13, that means you're in a payment plan. Okay. So if you're in an open Chapter 13, you're in a payment plan. But if it's been discharged 7 or 13, okay, they will look at that bankruptcy. You may get denied for that because you had a bankruptcy, but it's not the bankruptcy itself that you're being denied for. It's have you reestablished? Okay. I just did a video, how to bounce back from a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Y'all ain't been watching it because I know everybody ain't gonna went through no bankruptcy. But either way, go back to watch that video. Okay. Go back to watch that video because, and that's why I did it, because I know a lot of people are going to be filing bankruptcy very soon. The debts is getting out of hand. But what I'm telling you is that shows you how to reestablish yourself. And then once you do that, banks just need to see that who else are you paying? Banks don't want to be the first one giving you an approval. Okay. Remember, it's a relationship. Nobody wants to date you right off the back if you just had a divorce, right? It's like, well, hold up, explain yourself. Right? Well, or how did the last relationship work? And it's not that you're not worth dating anymore. It's not that you're not worth marrying anymore. They just need an explanation. They need to see what's your track record. What have you done to better yourself since that last relationship? That's all they want to know. That's all they want to know. They just want to make sure of that. Okay. So again, how long is there's really no timetable, but I would say at least 60 to 90 days after a bankruptcy, because again, this is assuming you have at least some accounts that have been added. So after adding about 2 or 3 or 4 accounts to your credit report, then you want to go ahead and then start. Okay, you want to go ahead and start. Then you can start, doing some of these pre-approval applications. I did another video earlier this year, and it's the five personal loans you can get with bad credit. Okay, so go ahead and watch that video as well, because those are all soft pulls, so they won't do a hard pull, so it won't affect your credit. Okay, let's keep rolling. Nappy Luxury says, you a goat. I appreciate you. Listen, Nappy don't know. Listen, we 1,200 videos in over here on YouTube. All right, let's keep going. Okay, next one is going to be, I got 8 negative accounts. I don't want to do it myself. I just want affordable credit repair. So there's a lot of things that you could do. You could do things yourself. I still for those who don't know, if y'all still got that email, I have not turned that off yet. So what I mean by that is, if you guys haven't gotten that the $9 advanced credit blueprint, y'all can go steal that. Or you can get it's honestly a better deal if you guys are going to get the 3 courses. Again, I told myself I'm not trying to sell y'all stuff. I'm just informing. But that's an affordable way to do it on your own. I know you don't want to do it yourself, but it's too cheap not to do it. I don't do disputes anymore, guys. Honestly, the thing is that we have some alternatives though. We do have some alternatives for you guys. But either way, just send an email. I'll put in here, so just send an email if you guys do want some additional help on this type of stuff. If you guys do want a game plan, you guys can do stuff like that. I'll put some stuff up here, man. But again, I'm not gonna try to sell you guys no stuff tonight. I just really want to give good value tonight. But if you guys are looking to do here's what I will do. I'll put this up here. If you guys want me to take a look at your credit report and give you all a custom game plan, let me make sure that this actually works. Okay. And again, this is just completely optional. It's 100% up to you. If you guys want to, I'll go ahead and put this up here, and you guys can scan that QR code. Okay. If you can't see if you guys are on your phone, this link is actually inside the description. Okay. So if you guys don't want to wait for that, you guys can go ahead and do that as well. Okay. But if you guys want a custom game plan, just scan that QR code and I'll look at your credit report and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. The reason why I'm mentioning that, Milt, is because we may not necessarily have to dispute it. Sometimes we spend too much time actually disputing it. Okay. And spend too much time on disputing. Guys, some of you guys will spend too much time on disputing. See, you guys think that, well, not think, but credit repair is mainly just disputes. But for those who don't know, at 850 Club, we've been big on game plans. We've been showing people a lot of times it's not worth spending too much time on these negative items. Don't get me wrong. Some things come off, some things don't. But you would be mad if you only get like 10 points, 5 points, 8 points, whatever, just trying to dispute stuff. A lot of times you just need a game plan, right? There's nothing wrong with a game plan, okay? And again, if you just get a good game plan, you honestly would be in a very good position, and it'll put you guys where you need to be. So if you guys want a custom game plan, just scan it at the top, and we'll put you in a good position as well, okay? All right. So next, let's go into the next piece. Some of y'all laughing. Is it better to get personal loans, which is adding more debt to lower utilization, or just work on lowering utilization? Very good question. Very good question. Here's what you got to understand. If you have $10,000 of credit card debt and you get a $10,000 loan, you have $20,000 worth of debt. But if you take that $10,000 loan and pay off $10,000 of credit cards, you now have $0 of credit card debt, and you just have the personal loan. But now you have one monthly payment. That's number one. And number two, you probably have a better interest rate. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that there are not personal loans out there for 20%, 28%, 30% right now. There are. But I'm telling you, you do better consolidating a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna show you guys a bigger hack. Watch this. If you guys go to, if you guys, let's say you guys got let's say you guys got 8 credit cards. I'm just throwing a random number out there. And you don't mind closing the credit card out. Okay. If you don't mind closing the credit card out, if you guys didn't take notes tonight, this is something you want to take notes on. Call each of the credit card companies and say, hey, I can't afford to keep paying you. Can I settle with you? And some of the companies will say, if you settle with us, excuse me, if you settle with us, we have to close out the account. If you settle with us, you're going to have to close out the account. So, but check this out. Let's say one of those cards, you owe them like $5,000. And then they say, hey, we'll let you settle for $2,000. And I've seen this happen, by the way. We'll let you settle for $2,000, $3,000, even if it's $4,000. That just saved you $1,000, right? But then they give you a certain date to pay them. You get that personal loan. Now you got the money to pay the settlement. That's how you guys swing this system. You do not have to, watch what I'm saying. You do not have to always pay these companies in full. You could do a settlement, guys. Well, if I do a settlement with a company, can I go back to them in the future? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It just because you settle with a company doesn't mean you can't do business with them in the future. Settling with a company just means, hey, this is where I'm at in my life, and I know I owe you guys money. Let me explain something to you guys. You're not the only ones that owe these companies money. They just hope they get something out of you. They know some of these people are going to charge them off. They know some of these people are going to file bankruptcy. They know some of these people are going to pay late. They know this stuff, man. That's only about 30 to 40% of just so we're clear, that's about 30% of every credit card company's client database that pays them on time. Just so we're clear. So it's nothing wrong with looking out for you by saying, hey, if you call 5 credit card companies and 3 of them say, hey, I'm going to do a settlement with you, and you save $6,000 total, and they say, we just need you to pay us by the end of the month, and you get that personal loan, man, you can thank me later. Okay, I'm telling you, that's one of the many hacks that are out here. But that's how you do it. See, the issue is flawless. The issue is when you get the personal loan and you get the personal loan originally to pay off the credit card debt, to consolidate the debt, but then you don't end up doing it, right? You end up just keeping the money and you blow it, right? Not saying you would do this, but then you blow it. Now we got a problem because now you owe the personal loan and now you owe the credit card, right? Well, you could use the personal loan to actually consolidate the debt because the amount of debt doesn't change. If you get a $10,000 personal loan to pay off $10,000 worth of credit card debt, and all you had was $10,000 worth of credit card debt, as an example, you don't have $20,000 worth of debt. You take that personal loan, you pay off the credit cards. Now the credit cards are at zero, and now you just got to pay the personal loans. But before you pay these credit cards off, if you don't care about the relationship, like right away, call them and say, hey, listen, can I settle with you? You'll be surprised. In times like right now, where times are tough, man, they hoping. Who don't want to get paid a lump sum? Let me ask you guys a question. If somebody owes you $100. If someone owed you $100 and they say, listen, I've been owing you this money for a long time. I don't know when I'm gonna get $100. But if I can give you $75 right now, can we just call it even? You gonna say no? You might say no just because you may know the person or because it's $100. Let me bump it up a bit. Let me bump it up to 10,000. If somebody owed you 10,000, right? And they say, hey, I only want to pay you 10,000, but can I just give you 8 and we good? Now you can either keep waiting on them to pay you $100 a month. Do you want to keep waiting for them to pay you $100 a month, or are you okay with them giving you 8,000? Exactly. That's what these banks are doing. Now I know what you're thinking with Calvin. I'm going to be short. I'm losing money. That's because you got that one person that owes you. Now let me put you in the bank's position. You got 20 million people. 30% of them are paying you on time. 70% ain't paying you on time. But 10% of those people, the people that's watching my video, they say, listen, I owe you, credit card company, $10,000. I'm about to get my hands on some money real quick. Now I keep paying you $200 a month. It's going to be late and it may be on time, kind of like I've been doing. Sometimes it's on time, sometimes it's late, but I'm struggling to pay it. But if I pay you this $5,000, $8,000, $7,000, whatever this number is, Can I just give it to you in a lump sum? We call it even and we good. Watch and see how many people say yes. You can rebuild that relationship with Chase. You can rebuild that with Amex. Okay. Instagram got a question. Rumor is Amex is the only one who won't let you come back. They lying, Nappy. They lying. Amex it's the opposite. Amex is the number one company that will let you come back. Amex is the only company I've ever seen do a payment plan with you. And as soon as the payment plan is done, when the payment plan is done, the relationship is the exact same as what it was before you was late. American Express is the only company that do that, Nappy. Don't be listening to these people. Most people want to give you good advice, but they can only tell you based on their experience. I've seen over 10,000 credit reports. I've been helping people since 2015. I'm telling you this. Chase will do it. American Express will do it. Bank of America will do it. Capital One will do it because they got millions on the line. Listen, banks don't just hope you pay. They know only 30% of people gonna pay. They know this. They know that a lot of people are not gonna pay, and they can't wait till you call them to get it to pay them off like that. Let me speed this up, guys. Y'all hanging in here with me. I appreciate it. If this is good information, put your favorite emoji in here tonight. Okay? I'm telling you. All right, cool. Let's go and keep rolling. Lamont, can a collection agency? I'm gonna speed this up, guys. I promise you, I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this all night. Ain't been going no faster. Either way, I'm gonna speed it up for real. All right, so can a collection agency? We're gonna stop at 60 minutes, okay, guys? So if y'all ain't got no questions in here, I'm about to fly through them. Okay, get ready. All right, so Lamont, can a collection agency charge off the same account multiple times? Absolutely, guys, absolutely, because they own the account. They can do whatever they want to do. Why? Because they own the accounts. Okay, now. Most companies aren't really trying to they're not really trying to charge off the exact same account. Really, what they're doing is they're reposting it, they're refreshing it. Okay, so it's going to show up all that time until you make out an arrangement with them. Remember, charge offs, just like any other account, is a closed account that's going to stay on your credit report for 7 years. That's it. Okay, in reality, you're lucky. You're lucky it stayed a charge off. Why are you lucky? Because listen. They could have turned it into a collection company. They could have turned it into a collection. They never sold it to a collection company. If they would have sold it to a collection company, it would have hurt your credit report. So keep that in mind. It would have hurt your credit more if they would have. It would hurt your credit more if they would have sold it to a collection company. They're doing you a favor by being on as a charge off, because a charge off you can solve. A charge off you can call them and say, "Hey, can I settle with you?" A charge off you can say, "Hey, can I do this? Can I turn this into a payment plan?" A charge off, you can say, "Hey, listen, I know I owe you $2,000. Can I pay you $500 and we done?" Or whatever that number is, right? You have those options as a charge off, but they're gonna keep redoing it. They own the account. I don't care what anybody else tells you. You can't control what these companies do, especially if they have it, right? Next. Lolita says, the only thing I want back from my student loan is the age and payment history. Biden removed it from my credit report last year. My credit age dropped. That payment history is 11 years and 6 accounts. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Lolita is telling y'all something that a lot of people missing out on. Listen, this goes back into what I think Shanique had asked that question. Can I dispute student loans? When you guys dispute student loans, you lose that history. Okay. And just so you guys know, when student loans are in deferment, that monthly payment history shows up that as on-time payments. You guys are getting free on-time payments. For what other account on your credit report are you getting on-time payment history for that you aren't paying? I'll wait. Nothing. Nothing. Only student loans. So again, it most definitely it helps you. But don't get me wrong. Don't just have a student loan just to have it, guys. Listen. You don't want to have it. That's just the only one of the few positive things about a student loan. So Lolita is most definitely right. You can most definitely lose some points when that drops off your credit report. How do you move from a lower 700 to a higher 750? Very good question. And we're going to be talking more about credit scores all in December. Not all of December, but we're going to be most definitely touching on it a little bit more. And, I got this hat on so y'all can see this new hats. I know. Because I was like, you know what? Y'all need to start seeing some stuff. Anyway, but no, I'm only saying that to say because, again, in December, we're going to be talking more about increasing your credit scores. But to answer the question specifically, you just need to have a few more accounts. Either you need more age. So what you're doing, you're on track. If you're in the 700s, you're on track. But start off looking at your credit card balances. Pay off what you can. If there's nothing to pay off, let's give it some more time. Okay. When you're under 700, your credit report is looking for more activity. When you're trying to get above 700, it's looking for how long can you stay consistent with that activity. Okay. So you're in the 300s, 400s, 500s, 600s. You just need something positive, right? You need multiple positive things. But when you're trying to get above 700, they're looking for you to say, how long can you be consistent? Okay. Okay. How long can you be consistent? All right, next. Wow, Lolita, 11 years hurts, but was negative, so don't trip. That's right about that. You are right about that. All right, so D says on Instagram, that's ironic. I'm on a payment plan with them right now. See, I told you. Listen, guys, listen. I don't know who y'all watching on YouTube, but I promise you, I'm telling you, they probably haven't seen as many credit reports as I have. I'm telling you. Okay, moving on. All right, so now if I have negative accounts that are 2 or more years old, would paying them off help my score increase? Absolutely. But do a settlement first. Do not just pay these companies in full without asking them, can you do a settlement? Don't just be giving y'all money just because, listen, man. Don't just be like, hey, listen, I got the money, I'm finna pay them. No, it's always see how much you can save first. Save first and then pay later. Save first, pay later. Okay. Also, is PFD a real thing? Pay for deletion? Absolutely, LV. Absolutely, but they don't have to do it though. By law, companies don't have to do a pay for deletion. Pay for deletion is a nice gesture. Okay, it's not overhyped, but it's most definitely say, hey, can I pay you and you delete it off my credit report? Absolutely, but again, pay for delete is only for collections, guys. Don't listen to these people. A charge off will be updated as settlement or whatever. By the way, if something says settlement on the credit report, that's not bad, by the way. It's nothing bad with that. But pay for delete is only for collections, guys. It's not for accounts that never turn into a collection. So keep that in mind. Speed it up. I had a 750 for years. Then I got identity theft by a family member who opened up accounts in my name and ran up credit cards. Ooh, now I have a horrible credit score. If you can prove that family member like actually stole your identity and you actually issued a police report and you report that to the actual companies and stuff like that, you may actually be able to get some of those accounts removed. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. But they do have rules, for that. Just like when you guys charge your debit card for something, they give you like 60 days, to say whether it's yours or not. And then after a certain period of time, they say, well, you should have known, by that time. Whatever. I'm not saying you shouldn't have or whatever, but it may not be too late to try to see if you can. If not, then yeah, you got to figure something out and do a settlement and try to work something out for sure. But unfortunately, there's no way around that, but just building the score up. Okay. What are your thoughts on debt restructuring versus debt consolidation? Ooh, I like this. You know why? Because so check this out. I got a video dropping. It's either gonna be tomorrow. Or Thursday. Probably be Thursday or Friday. And I actually talk about debt settlement versus debt consolidation. You guys are gonna like it. But the short version is, I strongly recommend debt consolidation because it's something that you can do. You can either do it with a personal loan or you can just call the companies yourself and just see if you can just restructure it yourself. So for those who don't know, restructure is really just calling them, but there's nothing wrong with doing both. I would restructure it to get it as low as possible first, and then try to see if you can get a personal loan to pay everything off that you just got at a lower amount. It's kind of what I was just talking about before. So again, you want to do both. It's absolutely no wrong with doing both, but you always want to consolidate it as possible. Consolidate just means that you just turn it into a personal loan, or you get a balance transfer credit card and you put all the credit cards into one credit card to take advantage of that 0%. So like, let's say, for example, you get approved for like $5,000. You got $3,000 with the credit card debt. You now turn that $3,000 into 0% for, like we talked about earlier today, 15 months, 18 months, whatever. And you can just kind of go from there. Okay. Travis, what up, bro? Is it good to do debt consolidation? Absolutely. If you qualify for it, that's the thing. So now we talk about debt consolidation, but you got to be a 650, 700, 680, somewhere in that range to even qualify for a lot of these personal loans. The numbers got to make sense. Just because you can get, just because you can get the personal loan, the numbers got to make sense on when you guys can actually do it. I mean, I'm sorry, on what the terms are and what the interest rate is going to be. Right. So just keep that in mind. Now, again, it's really up to you guys to determine that, though. OK, Instagram says, I've settled and paid off so many charge offs and collections. In the end, it will pay off. Even if you have a charge off or a collection removed, and you don't pay it, the debt can be sold again. You better tell them. D. See, people don't talk about that type of stuff, man. It's not just about getting stuff removed off your credit report, man. See, credit reports is just data. It's data. And data, some data is accurate, some data is inaccurate. It's data. But that does not change real life. They will re-report this stuff, man. I'm telling you this. They say, oh no, man, the way this guy did it, it ain't come back on my credit report. Oh, okay. Give it some time. All right, moving on. So now, how to remove an unauthorized hard inquiry from Capital One. There's videos on YouTube about that. But actually, one of the best ways to actually do it is to just call the credit bureaus and just let them know that you didn't authorize that, and then just go from there. But once you do that, just so we're clear, because a lot of people always talk about the front end. The front end is, hey, I called the credit bureau, I told them it wasn't me, and they went ahead and removed it. That's about the easiest way to do it. The issue is they let the company know that, hey, this was an inquiry that's on their credit report that they said wasn't them. Those companies keep track of that. So the next time you apply with them, because again, I like to talk about the back end. I like to talk about the risk. I like to talk about the future. I like to talk about the relationship. When you do that, now they're going to be looking at you like, oh, are you now? No different than when your bank says, hey, you always keep swiping your card and saying it ain't you. Now we don't know if we can trust you. Okay. Now that's going to always be the question is, we don't even know when we could trust you. Scott says, I told them to freeze my credit card. Someone tried to use, I'm not sure how they got my credit card number, but I was getting my money back. There you go. Okay, yeah, I'm telling you, that's about the only way you can do it. Next. Which business credit cards did you go after securing a Chase Inc. credit card? I have a relationship with Citi, Capital One, and PayPal. Yeah, I would say, who do you have a checking account with? Look to see who you got checking accounts with. Who do you want to start doing that with? Also, too, I would go and get an account with nav.com. A lot of times we get credit cards with traditional banks, but guys, there's a lot of credit card companies that are out here now, like the Bilt credit card. That's pretty good. There's another one too. I keep forgetting, but Bilt has been doing a very good job, on business credit side. But it all depends what you're trying to do too. And I would just say start opening some accounts with different companies too, like Navy Federal. They're going to be big on the business side as well too. PenFed, a lot of these credit unions in general. But I would say nav.com because they're more geared towards business, not just bank. Right? Wells Fargo as well too. And we did a video on that as well too. So watch some of the videos on the business credit side as well. But I would say look to see who you already got checking accounts with and start building some new relationships up with them. Okay. Next, I try to be over that loss. Oh, my bad. I'm late into y'all conversation. My bad, Lolita. All right. So can I get the debt off of my credit without the settlement, without filing bankruptcy? Can I get the debt off my credit without the settlement or filing bankruptcy? Yeah, paying it or disputing it. Right. So you can always dispute. And of course, it may or may not come off. Or you can, I was just about to do settlement, but you just say without doing that. So yeah, paying it or disputing it. Those are the only other options, to be honest with you. Outside of, or paying it technically is the same thing as like added to like doing a balance transfer with a credit card. You can do that as well. And Flawless, thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry it took me so long to get to that. Appreciate you. Yeah, listen. Information been valuable? Has it been valuable? If you guys have not liked this channel, if you guys have not liked this video, if you guys have not shared a video, if you guys have not subscribed, please, listen, that's all you got to do. That's all I'm asking you guys to do. I ain't asking for no donations, none of that. I just greatly appreciate you guys being here and doing that. We got some products coming out too. Again, not trying to sell nothing, but again, a lot of people want that accelerated help. They don't mind watching the videos. It's 1,200 videos. Guys, you could do I'm telling you, there are people that have sent us emails that have never bought a product, and which is fine. And they're like, man, I've just been watching videos and you just helped me so much. And you can most definitely do that. But if you want accelerated help, if you guys want me to take a look at your credit report, we most definitely can do that. And guys, I greatly appreciate you guys being here as well too. And if this information has been helpful, of course, let somebody know. We're gonna start doing this a little bit more frequently, a little bit more often as well too. A lot of the members, they love when I answer their questions as well too. So you'll most definitely be in a good position, with that as well too. So I want to make sure I got everything in there as well. D Pitts and Instagram says data preach. I'm telling y'all, all it is data, man. But you guys got to look good in front of these companies, man. But listen, if you guys want me to look at your credit report, scan this QR code right here at the top. I will look at your credit report. I will tell you exactly what you need to do. to improve your credit score. I don't care what your goal is. If you're looking to go into homeownership, buy a car, get a high limit credit card, lower your car payment, get a whatever that goal is, buy a home, buy rental property. I can help you do so, but I need to take a look at your credit report in order for me to do it. So make sure you go ahead and scan that QR code or go to the link inside the description below as well. Lolita, what you got for us? You're going to wrap us up? Travis, I got you. Matter of fact, let me do Travis first. He is a member. Get you going. So most of my accounts will fall off from my bankruptcy in 2024. That will improve my credit score. You better believe it, sir. You better believe it, because it won't be showing up as a negative account anymore, for sure. Nappy Luxury, thank you so much, because I didn't think of going to my own bank and getting a business credit. Yeah, absolutely. Start with them. Relationships, guys. Look to see who you guys got relationships with. Start with them first. Relationships are always going to help out, for sure. I've been taking things I learned from the break and generational curses from my early 20s. I had a credit card fetish, and now educating my children and others on my experience. That's why I tell them, Lolita. And it's channels like this, guys. It's about, listen, who have you shared this channel with? Let people know. Listen, it's a lot of people that's out there giving information, but they're just repeating the same stuff that they talked about last week, man. So again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking their hustle. I'm just saying is that I'm trying to help you no matter where you are. If you're rebuilding, if you're new to credit, if you're trying to get to 850, if you're trying to build business credit, if you're trying to buy a home, if you're trying to buy a car, if you were in a relationship building credit, if you're not in a relationship trying to rebuild your credit, wherever you are, this channel will have everything you need for all of your credit needs. And if you guys want me to take a look at your credit report, then listen, scan that QR code at the top. Go ahead and go to the link down at the bottom. Let me take a look at it, and then we'll go from there. I greatly appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good one.